Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next intermediate lesson. I think it's number 7. We've got a lot to cover today, but I don't want you to panic. I know some of you are feeling despair, a little bit down, depressed, because there are just so many new words and phrases coming at you. Don't worry. Pick and choose the ones you enjoy or like. And just worry about those. Don't try to remember everything. We offer a smorgasbord of words, a buffet of words, and you can pick and choose what you like. We have a really important lesson today that I'd like to share. It is important because we're talking about articles. You can see right here, articles. We're also going to talk about how to pronounce the and the. There are 2 ways to pronounce articles in English. This is important to know about. And then very important collocation with verbs plus preposition or adjectives plus the right preposition. This is a really important topic as well. So in terms of importance, please devote some time to study this section. I think it's really important for your English. So I'm going to pick and choose wisely what you focus on. We can't do it all, so we're skipping over the first sections, reading and speaking. I'll just mention in the reading just 2 phrases because you might see them later. Virtual maze. A maze is like a labyrinth. You know, when you're trying to get out and you can't find the exit, it's a little bit of a puzzle on how to exit. It's a labyrinth. And a virtual maze is one that's in cyberspace or not real. It's online. It's not sort of in reality. And then sense of direction, we say, do you have a good sense of direction? That means, are you able to navigate or drive without getting lost? Can you find places easily? That means you have a sense of direction. If you're always getting lost when you drive or you don't know where you're at in the city, perhaps you don't have a great sense of direction. So here's my question to you all. Do you have a good sense of direction? You can let your speaking partner know or me in the next live. Now, this is really important. You have a pre-exercise here you can do, but they're prepping you, they're preparing you for Grammar Bank, which we're going to look at right now. So you can listen to do this preliminary exercise if you want, but we're going to focus on the Grammar Bank 3B, and I want to go through this point by point. I want to walk you through it because it's this important. Articles are some of the most difficult aspects of the English language. And so I'm going to walk you through them. We're not going to use the audio files. I'm going to be your audio file. So we have examples here followed by the rule. So the general rule is we use a and an with singular countable nouns. So let's go ahead and look at the rules. It's a nice house. She's a lawyer. When we say that something is, when we say that what something is or what somebody does. I'm a teacher. So we use the a there, indefinite article. I'm a teacher. And I think all of us know this one, but I'm attaching rules to now the grammar or to your spoken English so that you have a little bit more confidence when you're speaking. The first time we mention a thing or person, we use a or the. So I saw an old man with a dog. You've never seen the dog or the old man before, so you use a or an to introduce them. In exclamations with what? What an awful day. What a beautiful day. What a sunny day. What a great test result. Practice some of these. I'm not sure many of you use number 3, so you can practice it alone or with a speaking partner. Something that's, you know, what a great holiday if you're on a holiday. And it's great. I have I have classes 3 times a week. We use a with frequency. 3 times a week. We have classes, and our classes are 3 times a week. I go on holiday once a year. So whenever you talk about frequency or how often you do something, then you go ahead and you can use a or an. All right, now here's where it gets a little bit more interesting with the. Number 1, I saw an old man with a dog. Now, we've already looked at that sentence above. Do you remember? That was the sentence we looked at above. Number 2, let me just get rid of some of this. Now, look at this. The dog was barking. So what's the rule? When we talk about something that we've already mentioned, so we mentioned the dog here, a dog, so now we know which dog, and we can use the next time. I saw an old man, or actually the dog. I saw a dog, the dog was barking. So if you mention dog or man a second time, you can say the. The bell rang and my father opened the door. The children are at school. You use the when it's clear what you're referring to. So if you're talking to your wife or your husband and you say the children the children are at school, you know that you're talking about your children. So you can use the. The bell rang. If you're talking to a friend, they know which bell. If they know which bell, then you use the. If you don't know which bell, you use a. A bell, I was walking in the city and a bell rang. A bell rang. I don't know which bell, but at home, I was reading and the bell rang. My doorbell. All right, and we know which door. So next one, the moon and the earth. When there's only one of something, the universe, the galaxy. I'm going to the cinema tonight with places in town like the cinema or the theater. I'm going to the theater. I'm going to the cinema. I'm going to the park. Now, assuming they know which park it is. If there's just one park near you, you can say, I'm going to the park. If you're in a big city and there are lots of parks, you can say, I'm going to a park. I don't know which one yet, but I'll call you and let you know. It's the best restaurant in town. Now, this is with superlatives. It's the fastest man on earth. He's the fastest man in the world. This is the best coffee in the city. This is the best English course in the world. So we use the with superlatives. Now, if we move on here, we don't use articles when. Girls often learn to read earlier than boys. Love is more important than money. When we are speaking in general with plural, girls, or uncountable nouns like love, then we don't need an article. I love flowers. If you say, I love the flowers in my garden, those are specific flowers in your garden. But in general, I picked up some flowers, not the flowers. It's only the flowers if they're in your house, perhaps, or in someone else's house. She's not at home today. I get back from work at 5:30. So with some nouns like home, work, school, church, after, at, to, and from. Now here's where honestly it starts to get a bit complicated. That's a really detailed rule. And I'm scratching my head wondering if we should actually memorize that. But this is what the book has suggested. I'm on the fence. If you're on the fence, you're unsure if it's a good idea. So I'm unsure. But nonetheless, here we have it. It's school. You don't say at the school. I'm at school. I'm at work. I'm at church. I'm at home. Before, look at number 3. I never have breakfast. I'm going to the theater on Tuesday. So, before meals, days, and months, in September, on Tuesday, at breakfast. Now, if you're talking about a specific breakfast that something happened, let's say someone, I don't know, someone got ill. So you can say at the breakfast, if you have a specific breakfast in mind, but we almost never say that because it's not necessary. It's very specific, special circumstances. So in general, this rule applies before meals, school, days, and months, and before next, last, plus the day. So see you next week. We never say the next week in this context. See you next year. See you next month. All right. Now, I went through that specifically because I want you to focus and concentrate when you're doing these exercises, because for some of you in some linguistic traditions, you don't have articles or they're not emphasized or used in the way they are in English. So we have to give this more attention. And that's why I've taken the time here. All right, let's go back to pronunciation. Now, pronunciation, you're largely going to do with the audio files. However, I will practice, so you can practice these two with the audio files. These are very important. I want you to take your time and do this. I'll help you with this. So we have two types of articles, two pronunciations, the and the. So the goes with a sort of a consonant, the cinema. And the is with a vowel. We have the when we have a vowel that starts the next word, the other day. So let's practice these because we don't have an audio file. The other day, repeat after me. The only way, the end of the world, the average person, the aim of the exercise, the immediate future, and the important thing. And with things like see, we say the. So I'm giving you a bit of a clue before you do the homework. Now, we have listening and speaking, but I actually want to focus on, you can do a bit of the listening. I want to focus on the vocabulary. Again, this is really important. So do these exercises first before you do the other ones. I think it's more important. So if you go down here, we have dependent prepositions. Now, the audio files are actually going to help you with this, so I won't necessarily repeat what they're going to do. But here's what I would like you to do. Do the exercise on your own. So he apologized to the police officer for driving fast. Fill in all of the answers in all the exercises. When you're done, listen to the audio file and check which ones or note which ones you missed or which ones you're not confident in. Oh, I guessed. If you guessed, that's a miss because we want to be certain. Then what I want you to do is write those down on a sheet of paper, that collocation, apologize to, argued with, go down the list, and I want you just to repeat them at least one time this week, all of the ones you missed on a little sheet of paper. Because these, what I love about this exercise, these are common collocations that you use all the time. And so you want to remember them, you want to memorize them, but only focus on the ones you're not certain of. Got it? All right, I'm going to give you a little bit of homework related to this. But in general, I don't want you to focus on listening and reading until you get the pronunciation, the vocabulary, and the grammar finished. I'll give light homework after that for you to practice a bit more. But again, don't panic if you don't remember all the vocabulary. Just try to, I think this is important because we have vocabulary plus prepositions. That's why I think this is a bit more important. That's why I'm asking you to write it down. All right, you've got a lot to do, and I'm going to wish you well. Study hard, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye-bye.